Guys, welcome back to Malam Go Podcast by Betway. And today's show is very, very special indeed. After all the months of speculation, the transfers, the twists and turns, Club World Cup trophies, trophyless pre-seasons, the Premier League is back. It's bigger, it's bolder, as unpredictable as ever. The defending champions looking to defend their title. You've got the glory chasers looking to seat them. And you've got Arsenal looking to stop themselves from finishing second again. This season should be as bigger as you've ever imagined. I can't wait for Premier League football back again. And the guys are back in studio as well. Daniel Cranston hasn't been here for the past 3 or 4 episodes. Today he's back. Still in morning mood. Danny K.
Semenyo in defensive contributions.
What?
Semenyo's defensive contributions, plenty.
You know, plenty like that.
I guess on small money, I won't buy somebody. I don't know who. Pedro Neto.
The FPL tacticals. In access. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
We're waiting to see if Sicho can join us a little later. Today we are recording this at a very odd hour, at a very odd time, all right? But yeah, you know, Premier League is back. I'm excited. Every team starting on level points, 0.
So as it stands, Arsenal are champions. Arsenal are
alphabetical order champions.
They are league leaders.
They are league leaders. Yeah. But 38 next steps to glory or to despair. It's all starting tonight, and it's the champions that will have to kick things off. Start your title defense. And Liverpool have been involved in these early kickoffs for a while, and they've been dramatic. I'll never forget them. And was it Norwich?
Norwich, yeah.
Oh my God.
No, that one was like 4-1.
Yeah.
I think the one you're referencing is the Arsenal-Leicester one.
It was Arsenal-Leicester. That was what, 3-2 or 4-3?
Yeah, 4-3, I think.
It's been always cracking start to the season. Yeah. The first game is always ridiculous. And Friday evening, Bournemouth at Liverpool. Liverpool will start their title defense. And you know what I'm expecting from that game?
No.
A lot of emotions. The tribute to João, Diogo Jota should be special. Anfield will be absolutely rocking. Liverpool have not had a great start to the season. They lost the Community Shield to Crystal Palace, but they have to start the Premier League proper in wonderful fashion. But it wouldn't come easy against Bournemouth. Then on Sunday, you've got Saturday, you've got Manchester City in action, Arsenal and Man United in action on Sunday, Chelsea against Crystal Palace, the FA Cup champions on Sunday. What a weekend ahead, guys. How excited are you that the Premier League is back? Are you?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
We need some upsets on the opening weekend.
We do. We
need someone to...
More especially on Sunday. That would be cool.
Why not Saturday?
I mean...
No, Sunday in London.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Charlie...
Also on Sunday evening, we need...
After everything Palace have been through this week, the bad news from Cars and how their supporters are down.
They need to bounce back.
No. They are Community Shield champions. They are still celebrating.
Yeah, but that was offset by the Cars decision. The decision came after.
Cool 1-1. Some cool 1-1.
João Pedro to score on his debut, and then Jean-Philippe Mateta.
That guy there. You know they look like player one.
Bounce up.
But
you know the funny thing? When he actually had hair.
He is so good, eh?
When he had hair, he used to have a very different look. When he had hair, he wasn't this prolific.
Mateta a to glass knocking.
You go do Sakura, no?
Yes.
The way you go train a pants.
Mateta glass knock.
The way you train a pants.
Original pimpiness. Original pimpiness.
Jean-Philippe Mateta. He knows what he's doing, though. The image that he's projecting. Yeah. He make it look.
Oh, I won't be surprised if he gets a modeling gig. Or if he has,
No, it's possible.
if he has
I mean, he's
one
got the
already,
height.
Yeah, I'm sure he's.
He's got the height. He's got everything. He can be a model.
Mateta. Hey.
Jean-Philippe Mateta. Anyway, so guys, what we're going to do now, we're going to look ahead to the opening weekend of the Premier League. So we'll start with like expectations. I mean, then we'll do predictions. We'll do everybody's top 4, or who you think will be player of the season, top scorer of the season. So this is our official Premier League preview episode to the start of the Premier League season. Nimli has sent me his top 4 predictions as Chelsea number 1. If he says I'm lying, he should have been here. He should have been here to defend himself. But listen, let's talk about like the whole build-up, the preseason, who has impressed you most, whose transfer business has been the most impressive, who is better set up for a good start, for a good run, and all of those things. Obviously, it's difficult to predict, but based on what you've seen, what are your observations about how each of, especially the top teams, will approach the season? And maybe another team that's done some really good, quiet business that a lot of people aren't talking about, and that sort of thing. Then, okay, let me begin with you.
First off, I think this is the first preseason we are having since the new Club World Cup.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they need to look at something like that. If they would delay the start of the season by 1 week or so, to get the teams that competed in there. Because
100%.
Looking at PSG during the week, looking
Against
at Chelsea, Chelsea have had to play 2 games within, I think, 4 days.
And they didn't need to travel.
And they kept them at Stamford Bridge. 2 days in 3 days. It's not the best of preparations because these guys also went on holiday. It's been some way. And I'm looking at somebody like Joao Felix. Joao Pedro.
Yeah.
He never really had the preseason.
He had 1 week of beach time.
Yeah. No, the beach time was even training. Because he knew that there was a possibility he would
go to Chelsea.
So he had to stay fit. So he didn't have that mental rest before he went to Chelsea. Then after Chelsea, 2 weeks break and then they are back playing. It's not necessarily the best. And I'm saying a league like the Premier League is very competitive.
Right.
Your draw on first day could be the reason why you didn't win the league.
True.
So for me, in order to get teams at the same level at the start of the season, maybe they need to watch something. I don't know, but they need to adjust on 1 or 2 things. But that being said, look, Charlie, we say this almost every season. But I think the increase in quality is very significant this season.
It's growing, eh?
Yeah. And the closeness in terms of competition.
Across the board.
Across board, this season is I was staring at you yesterday. I genuinely feel like the difference between the first and the fourth this season could be like 6-7 points. We have 4 genuine title contenders this season.
4?
Yeah. Chelsea are going to the season expecting.
Somebody else said that there are 8 title contenders.
No, that one there is it's all EPL marketing.
Was it Arteta? Some manager like that said.
They always do that thing. But I'm saying that when you look at the strength of the various squads, you look at the Arsenal team and you know they will challenge. Man City with Pep know that they will challenge. Liverpool are defending champions. Obviously, they are going to the season to defend their title. Chelsea will look at the squad they've built and what they've achieved, especially in the last 3 months, and believe that they can. Last season, they mounted the title challenge until halfway through, and then they fell off due to, for me, it was inexperience and the lack of proper squad depth. This time around, they've beefed up the squad. They have a manager who was now won even more than he had before. They have a squad that have experience. Look, they are world champions. You don't conquer the world and enter the season and think about top 4. So Chelsea are also genuinely going for the title. And I used to say this thing some years back, and you remember that the more teams that are challenging for the title, the more difficult it becomes for the other teams who are going to the season thinking about top 4. Because if 4 teams are aiming for the title, then the top 4 is done. So you who are aiming for top 4, and I have to settle for 5th or 6th. So everybody is increasing their threshold, their ambitions, and they are beefing up their squad to match that. So for me, this season is crazy interesting. At the end of last season, when we looked at the various teams, looked at where possibly they should strengthen, the areas they were lacking, it's like every team has gone out and done exactly that. When you look at the 25 squad list, like full of quality. Yeah. You look at Chelsea, and until the Cole injury and Maresca has spoken, they want a defender. So you're almost certain that Chelsea will go and get a central defender before the end of the transfer window. So for me, I trust that.
Could get Baston. So he would cost an arm and a leg.
Italian teams, give them 50 million. They will take. You know what I mean?
But he's not even been mentioned, so I don't think they're looking in that direction.
You know, I don't that Chelsea profile. I don't even think that.
Exactly.
But the point is, to be frank, in the last 2 seasons, the kind of players Chelsea have gone for the first team, not for their
the selling Tonaton project.
For the first team, they have been quality. So you know that obviously, if you are losing Kowo, you have to bring a ready backup or a ready replacement. So I trust that Chelsea will fill in that spot. Yeah. Liverpool, we know, are also in search of a centre. They signed a young centre back yesterday, and they are looking to sign Mark Gahey before the transfer window ends. So even the areas that have not been strengthened yet, there are clear indications that the teams are looking to fill in those spots. Man United were looking for Baleba. Arsenal look like they are set, but there are still conversations around the left wing. They are still in talks with Eze. We don't know what will happen with Rodrigo, whether Arsenal will enter City or City one. Like, everything's set. So this is probably the season where you would have to be next to perfect to win the league title. Like, you can't afford to slip up. And again, that mini league within the top 4, top 6 will also be very, very crucial.
The matches against each
other. Those ones where back in the day, Mourinho writes his draft, 3 points. When we go to Old Trafford, 1 point. We go to Anfield, draw. But when they come home,
the title was dependent on how many points you got off the top 4.
Thank you.
So
it's very, very essential this season. And to be frank, like, it's been so difficult trying to predict a top 4 or a top 6. It's been so like crazy difficult because the quality gap is really close.
Yeah.
And I think this season is going to be the best yet. I'll not lie to you.
Can we briefly talk about some of the top 16 and the potential title contenders briefly on their ambitions? Daniel mentioned roughly what everybody has done. I want us to maybe talk about Man City a little bit. You speak a lot about the Man City situation. They've done some really good business. In fact, Man City's business did not start in the off-season. It started, I think, in my opinion, in January.
That's when the rebuild started.
That was when the rebuild started. You know, they spent around 200 or so million pounds in that general transfer alone. You understand? But in the summer, they brought in most notably Cherokee and Reinders. I think those two are probably their biggest high-profile signings in this particular window. But before that, and then Ait Nouri, right? Ryan Ait Nouri. Those three are their biggest signings. We know they also brought in Bettinelli from Chelsea.
55 million for Tijani Reinders. 36.8 for Nouri. Then Ryan Cherokee for 36.5. James Trafford, the goalkeeper. Then Bettinelli, Nepan, Jack Grealish has moved on. So basically, those are the players that they have signed.
Yes.
In this.
In January, they brought in, what's the name of the Portuguese guy? The midfielder. What's his name?
So they brought one midfielder.
And then the
left back.
Yes.
The
centre back.
The left back. And then
let me see. The January signings. Just hold on.
Echeverri Kuchanov.
Yes, Kuchanov, the centre back.
Echeverri, the attacking something.
Then Mamouche as well.
Then Nico Gonzalez.
Exactly. So Nico Gonzalez, Mamouche, and Kuchanov. Those three, I think, were the ones they brought in January. They brought in quite a number of players. What problems is Pep or has Pep addressed with his new signings, and how does that change? I think ahead of last season, quite a number of people could predict that Man City would have issues. And they did have the issues that they...
You are lying. You people said we'll win flat down. When I said City had issues, the whole... You know began now. Zimbabwe, Nigeria. They say me a fool. I don't know anything.
You were right. Congratulations.
Make Jimmy, they say me I don't be correct guy.
Congratulations.
Me know when I start to watch ball. Pep.
I'm trying to understand. So how does...
The problem with City...
What problems are they solving with their new signing?
That question is the problem. Is not you, but to City, is the fact that, in the past, whenever City signed a player, it was
very obvious.
Guaranteed upgrade on what was before.
Right.
Or at the very least, at the same level as the players that came in. So if you look at the end of his very first season, that was when he signed an entire team.
Right.
He signed an entire team, changed defense, midfield, attack, and then the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
In the years that followed, practically everyone who came in, again, was an upgrade. So when Bernardo Silva came in, he was the next layer of the midfield improvements. When they signed Erling Braut Haaland, the same. Even for the players they signed in wide areas, Riyad Mahrez had a similar impact. At left back, when Benjamin Mendy came in, he was an upgrade because already the Fabian Delph was a makeshift. It was a midfield signing that was never going to work anyway, because I don't think he had the skill sets to play the way Pep wants. So Mendy comes in, upgrade. The fullback options as well, the same. Kyle Walker comes in as upgrade to the former Arsenal, Bakary Sagna. So at every stage...
Even the goalkeeper, Ederson.
Ederson as well.
He has signed a goalkeeper from Barcelona and he replaced him in a single season.
So at every stage, there has been a certain clarity with his squad building. The problem with this year, from July 2024 to now August 2025, is that you don't see who is an upgrade on what.
Okay, let's start with Mamouche and the Argentine boy.
Even Mamouche is someone I would count as a direct replacement for the Argentine, because they didn't replace him when he left.
Oh,
you hear me?
True.
Yes, Julian Alvarez. They did not replace him when he left, so I would count Mamouche as the Alvarez replacement,
not an upgrade.
Yes. Now,
but isn't a replacement supposed to be an upgrade?
No, I'm saying that's not necessarily an addition.
No, I think that I'm trying to say that's how Pep built his team. Every replacement was an upgrade on the previous talent.
In this case, he came in when there was nobody there. In fact, they had gone half a season without Julian Alvarez. Now, if you look at the players who came in, how many of them had the sort of impact that you expected? Because if you make a...
Kucherov had a disaster of a debut.
Yes. If you make a January signing, it is supposed to be a quick fix for now, especially for the really expensive ones. And they did a lot in January. They signed close to 150 million in January alone. So Nico Gonzalez did not really have that impact.
Didn't have the necessary
Kucherov, we all remember that debut. One to forget. Savinho is already... If it had worked out, they would not be contemplating shipping him out.
Yeah.
Then you have Victor Ruiz from Palmeiras. Didn't really work out. Gundogan came back. Callum Doyle. As for those ones, they are even the academy graduates.
So you are talking from summer last year till now, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, from January. Because these were all the January. Savino was the summer signing from the summer. But essentially, the 160 or 170 million that they spent in January all did not work out. But for Omar Mamouche. So he's the one player you know is going to start games. The rest, I have no idea what Pep intends to do. And you see, this is a different problem from in the past. The issue with Pep was that no one could predict how he would set his team up.
You don't think Ryan Cherky, for example, is trying to fix an issue in the midfield? Aging, De Bruyne is off.
Not necessarily.
Bernardo.
Not necessarily, because De Bruyne gave them the X factor. De Bruyne was always the reason City's build-up could move from gear 1 into gear 2.
They wouldn't have that in Cherky?
Cherky is not that kind of player. So we have to see Pep use him to become that player before we can start making... That is why in my Premier League predictions, I did not list City among Arsenal and Liverpool. So I'm waiting to see what he does with this group, because even with the old group, you could tell that even without the tinkering and all of the new things Pep would come up with, you are guaranteed of a certain standard of performance. Look, the drop-off last season was massive. And the mere fact that Pep wants to bounce back, the mere fact that the players feel they need to bounce back, is not a solution in itself. There are no question marks about Pep himself, but there are serious question marks about the players they have signed. Rodri is not going to start the season. How does that midfield look without him?
What about Reinders?
Reinders is a very different player. He's not cool. He's not your typical holding midfielder.
I was even mentioning him in regard to the whole De Bruyne conversation, because now you've got Cherky, you've got Reinders, Bruyne, Rodri out.
Liverpool, we are
I feel
discussing
like you're saying that those two won't necessarily fill in whatever holes that.
Look, I think Pep knows that if he used to have anything competitive right from the get-go, it has to be him and what he gets out of the team, as opposed to the players adjusting to him. Because a lot of them are misfits. I mean, Ryan Sheki, for example, he releases the ball as and when he wants to. Kevin De Bruyne sees the pass, he's making it. Like, it occurs to him instinctively. Ryan Sheki has to re-educate himself to make that pass when the team needs it.
What about Tijani?
Reinders, yes, Reinders is a better player in that regard, right? In terms of the end product, in terms of what he will give the team, he's a better player. He understands and appreciates space better than Ryan Sheki. So I'm not too sure. That's why I'm reluctant to call what their season is going to be. I'm just pointing out my concerns.
Fair enough.
When the season starts and we see how he sets up the team, then you can tell who is a better fit for what.
Okay.
In terms of the options that they have got.
You wanted to say something on that?
I'm saying, Pepe, aren't you tired?
Of underestimating
You, me, and nobody here. It's not underestimate. Nobody knows how he's going to use a player he has bought.
Yeah.
Pep has never, since he took over Man City, had a standard first 11. You can never, before the season, predict who is going to start, with front three, who is going to replace who. Pep
is a nightmare for FPL players because of that reason. It's true.
De Bruyne's first season at Man City with Pellegrini, when Pep took over, completely different role, completely different instructions. Some of us didn't even know De Bruyne could play that way until Pep took over that team. So he's a very funny guy. Like, he's a funny guy. When De Bruyne got, if you remember, I think 18, 19, 20, around that time, but De Bruyne got some two very long injuries, like back-to-back seasons.
I remember.
And every big question, how is Pep going to? There's nobody like the Man City team who can play. Pep just rejigged the squad, and the thing was functioning. He doesn't need to find a player like De Bruyne to replace De Bruyne. Pep,
another example would even be when Aguero left.
When Aguero left,
didn't have a striker.
He won the league without a striker. So,
that's true.
It is Pep. When he buys his players, just understand that the guy he
has plan.
When the season starts, then you can judge. But Ryan Sheki is completely different from De Bruyne.
Yes.
The things Ryan Sheki can do is something that Man City have lacked even last season. They didn't have that player who could pick it up.
He doesn't want him to come and do De Bruyne.
Do De Bruyne thing. He's not De Bruyne. He's Sheki. So he can do what Sheki does. Tijani Reinders, that's where my only issue is with the Rodri thing. Because fundamentally, with the principles of Pep, you need a player like Rodri to control tempo.
And even playmaker is necessary.
Look, the amount of shots Man City and chances Man City conceded last season, that Rodri factor was very, very, very simple. Telling the fact that he was absent. Tijani Reinders can play that role, but he can't play to the level of the elites in that position. He's more of a box to box. We saw him at the Club World Cup trying out that role. They played him a bit further. I think even their preseason game they played just last week, he played in that role, but he was given liberty to Bamford, the one he scored a 2-0. So you still don't really understand exactly what Pep's plan is. But I think by October, November, we'll start seeing a more like constant, clearer picture of what he's trying to do. So as for Pep, Charlie.
What about the champions? You slightly alluded to their transfer business and what have you. And their preseason has been a little bit some way. I mean, the manager said that he has issues with the sheer number of goals that they concede. And even the Community Shield, they conceded 2 in that game as well. Liverpool, we know even under Klopp, they've never really been a team built around defensive solidity. They just score quite a number of goals. So that's why I want us to talk about their offense. Their offense has changed a lot. Coming into this season, Diego Jota, unfortunately, may he still rest in peace. So he's no longer with the team. They've also lost Luis Diaz. They've lost Darwin Núñez. That is 3 very important key players in that attacking 5. I would say attacking 5 because the other 2 that helped them last season would be the Portuguese boy Gakpo and Mohamed Salah, right? So out of the 5 attacking players they had from last season, 3 of them have left and introduced 2 new ones. We know Ekitike and who's the other one?
Vets.
Yeah.
Vets.
Who?
Vets, Florian Vets.
Florian Vets, maybe, in that attacking sense. Do you think that is enough? Or you think that even, we know that they want a defender, Van Dijk has said it, but I'm worried about their attack. Do you think they need a bit more addition there, or?
I think they themselves know they need another attacker. That's why they are still in the hands for Isak.
Yeah.
But for me, if I was running Liverpool's transfer business, you see that when the first Isak bid was rejected, there were reports in France that Liverpool wanted my player, Bradley Barcola.
Yes.
For me, that's a deal I'll take. Because the Luis Diaz they've lost.
Yes.
He had this explosiveness, directness in him that nobody in that front line has. Like they've lost something. Especially in transition, you need a player like that
to run at defense.
To run at defenders, you don't unpredictable. Can dribble his way out of any situation.
That's not a bad idea.
And to be frank, Barcola, the reason why he's my player is because I know that one day, and it's coming.
Only the finishing that
he will meet that manager that will change the decision.
It's the finishing that is lacking.
And will become world class. Barcola can there's no situation he finds himself in he can't dribble out of. He's that good. It's just the end product that is lacking. And for me, Liverpool, they need a player like that. With Ekitike, who I think in the next 2 seasons, I dare say that, especially in the team he's in, he could easily become Isak's level or better. Because we saw Isak when he was coming to the Premier League. We saw him. He wasn't this prolific. He wasn't this good. But he's been in the right environment. And the potential we saw has now come together. Ekitike has similar potential. And in a team like Liverpool, there's no reason, and a manager like Slotto, there's no reason why he would not reach that level. We saw the players that Slot picked up last season. Gravenberch was unfancied with Klopp. McAllister, that deep role, nobody really thought he could play it. But Slot made it work. So we know that he has the ability to increase a player's cap. Even Salah. Last season was the best season that Salah has had. In terms of numbers. Across board, both in terms of goal scoring and chance creation and assists. So for me, we saw a more complete Liverpool team last season. And that is testament to improved performance all around. Yeah. And that's testament to the abilities of the manager. So I genuinely believe they need a player more like Barcola, an explosive winger. The new boy, forward. Malik Fofana. Players like that, not necessarily Isak, who when he comes in will relegate Ekitike to the bench. My point is, if Isak is playing and he's not doing well and you bring in Ekitike, there's not much difference it will do tactically. Yeah. But if you have a player like Fofana or Barcola on the bench and you bring them on, whoever that right winger is afraid. That entire right side.
I actually think something that actually supports your point is that, in fact, apart from Luis Diaz, you can even argue that Jota is similar.
Jota is also explosive.
That's
his movement, he's very difficult to deal with.
Yes.
So they've lost even Darwin Núñez also.
Yes.
Darwin Núñez has that explosiveness. No,
you're right.
Also. But they've lost a lot in terms of that. And for me, if they could strengthen that profile, I think they would even be closer. That could take them to the next level. Maybe even Champions League.
There's somebody that said that in midfield too, they might be lacking a bit because I feel like they felt it when Gravenberch scored.
I think they need a DM.
Yeah,
they need a
don't they? Because that's also part of the reason they are conceding a lot. Because then the defense are facing way too many shots. And Van Dijk he's growing older. It's not his fault. It's just natural. He's no longer the same Van Dijk of 5 years ago.
That is why I am surprised they have pushed out the boats for Isak this season. I think after convincing the player and being convinced themselves that they are who Isak wants, they should have delayed that move. I think they should. And perhaps look at pushing out the boats. I know Adam Watson at the moment would look a complicated deal. And I think that's something they perhaps should have done at the beginning of June.
That boy is so good, eh?
At the beginning of June, because one of the reasons, and you are right, when you say the midfield looks light, is that there is no one there who is a thinker and can allow the team to breathe and can just pick a pass and attempt to control the game.
Even to be fair, Gravenberch was makeshift. That's what Daniel was saying.
Yes.
Because typically that's not even...
Yes, so Adam Watson is not the finished product yet.
Yeah.
But in that Liverpool team, I think the team is set up to accommodate some of the flaws he may have. And could do with the things that he knows how to do very well.
And Endo is not it.
No, absolutely not. Endo is at best a destroyer. Nothing close to that kind of profile. And for a team, you see, Slot said last season that they were not scoring a lot of goals. Often they were winning games by 1 goal, 2 goal margin. For a team built like that, it would really help them if they control the game more with the ball. If they control the game more with the ball and they don't have to move around. Especially because last season, the manager showed that he likes to work with a set team of 15 to 16 players. That was why the whole Champions League campaign that fell apart. It was because, yes, PSG were good, but because Slot did not manage the squad very well. So between April, in 1 month, between the 1st of April, because the game happened on the 2nd of April, between the 2nd week of May, no, the 2nd week of March and the 2nd week of April was when they lost the Champions League. If they had the squad to rotate, if they had the numbers to rotate, then perhaps the squad would have been a bit more fresher. Now, if you don't have the squad to rotate, a midfielder that allows the team not to run around too much, but control the game and play with the ball a bit more, is someone that I think they should have prioritized.
So you think
because if you look at the squad,
Adam Wharton would have been
either him or someone better or someone of that make. Because if you look at the signings that they have made, it's almost been like for like replacements, not additions. So
who is Vert replaced?
They don't really have depth. Vert is perhaps the outlier. Even with him, the argument could be made that he was signed so that the team could play in a different way. Right? Because I don't think he is, and it's not even my opinion, he's not similar to any of the forwards Liverpool have lost. Be it Jota or Diaz or Darwin Núñez. He's very different. So the team will play in a different way. So if the idea is for him to help the team keep the ball better, I don't know how that will work. But if
where does Curtis Jones fit in all of these conversations?
He's a squad player.
He's
just another up until now.
But he was never a bang on
But you see,
starter.
for the team to make progress,
Because like the profile we're talking about, Jota Road,
And you see,
Curtis is I like him.
for about a year now, whenever he's played, he's not been able to influence games. So.
Who Curtis Jones?
Yes.
Oh, no, but last year he balled out.
Me, when I look at them, I look at them with the lens of
when
I look at them, the Liverpool situation, I look at them with lessons from how Arsenal are built. The difference between winning the Champions League and making that round of 16 that they did last season is that 40 million squad player who will give you more than what Curtis Jones will. Who will start, and the drop-off between McAllister and that player will not be too much. Between Gravenberch, between Florian Wirtz will not. And you see, there are 2 or 3 players away from that. That's why I said the squad is not even different in terms of numbers. Frimpong came to replace Trent. Kekes, Chimikas. The Vets, something different from the front 3. As for the front 3, they are even lights there because they need one more player to replace the 3 that have left. And then maybe finally they found the left centre back that they were looking for in Leone, because I think for about 3 years now, they've always gone out for a left centre back, a young left centre back, but it's never really worked out. So the 2022, they went out for the Chelsea centre back, Levi Colwill. It didn't happen. Then the year after that, they went after.
So they've been looking for a player like that.
Last year was Lenny Euro. It didn't happen. Then Dean Howson this year. It didn't happen. He chose Real Madrid. So at least there is that consistency there. But I want to see 1 or 2 more additions to the squad to have the sort of depth that, because look, the templates that Man City have been winning the league with, it has not changed. Liverpool beat them to it last year, but the squad will be stretched. If you want to do well in the Premier League and at least match the levels that City were doing in the Champions League, because City were averaging quarterfinal, semi-final of the Champions League because they had the quality in depth and the squad to go out there and compete. So that's the one issue I have with the Liverpool squad. But for the purposes of the Premier League, I think they have enough.
Okay, let's talk about 2 more teams. Listen, how does Arsenal, let's talk about Arsenal and Chelsea, maybe Man U. I want to know, how does have Arsenal done, the question is, have Arsenal done enough in the squad improvement aspect of things? to genuinely now turn that consistent second position into first. You mentioned how competitive this season is going to be. But to win the league, you need to be an outlier. You need something, some X factor somewhere. I mean, you backed Arsenal for the past 3 seasons, but it's not come true for them. Always eventually falling apart. Last year, they went really far in the Champions League as well, so that's a strong squad. They lost Partey, they brought in Zubimendi, they brought in what's the boy from Chelsea?
Madueke.
They brought in Noni.
Madueke, Kepa, Mosquera, and then Gyökeres.
The son is striker, Gyökeres. I'm more excited about him. Okay, when you look at the squad, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm still talking to Arteta.
He still needs to do something.
We need to win. Charlie, Martinelli, no.
So wait.
And to be frank, the painful thing is when Trossard comes on to Trossard winning, he doesn't have that burst of pace again. The dribbling ability has gone. No, I liked him at Brighton. I wish it was like 5 years ago when he was like 5 years younger at Arsenal. But unfortunately, winning. And Martinelli too, Charlie, Brazilian who can dribble. Brazilian who can, like, there's no magic in his feet. Head down. Run until he reaches touchline. If you don't tell him, if you don't call him Martinelli, you will go out into the crowd. But that's a problem for me. And to be frank, I think over the years, Arsenal have become very predictable.
Yeah.
Their style has become predictable. Yes, it's still creating, but just as we saw last season, I think teams will adapt even more to what Arteta wants to do. So they need something different up front. As for Saka, he will guarantee you the goals, assists. Those things will come. But it can't be, you can't burden him too much with that responsibility because 2 seasons ago, they were 2 points away from the title.
Yeah.
2 points away from the title is that first half against Aston Villa. Scoring 1 goal. That 1 goal, that season, Arsenal's defense was unbreachable. It's because they were desperate in the last minutes. That's why they were that open. Arsenal could defend a 1-0 lead. Like, it's just, there's a thin line between finishing second and finishing first these days in the Premier League. And it's just that little extra bit of quality that you have in your squad. So, I genuinely believe that Arsenal need to go. The same thing I said about the Liverpool thing. That left-hand side there, some Bakula, some...
He will do a job there.
You do it, like, you see?
Instead, they've gone for Noni, who is also on the same side as...
Noni, he's
Saka.
But you see, I understand Martinelli can get you some 10 Premier League goals, 10, 12 Premier League goals. I believe that Bakula, a player like... Even Rafa Leao is frustrating. But in the right system, he has that X factor that can change games.
Yeah. He can switch it on.
He can switch it on. Like, you need a player like that in your team. Eze can do that. He too is very frustrating for me.
Lookman?
Lookman, I don't trust him. Lookman hasn't done he hasn't done well anywhere apart from Atalanta. And he wasn't playing out wide. He was playing basically like he not doing anything. What did he do? He didn't really flop the Everton, flopped the Fulham. They were just shipping him around. It is the coach, it was the Gasperini who got the best out of him. And since we are talking about like a left winger, he's not done it at left wing for me to be sure that he can come out and do the business. So I think Arsenal need to strengthen. I'm still talking to Arteta. The thing is, we've not settled on the player that we want. That's the thing. But in the next week, we'll settle it. But I'm very sure Arsenal will go.
That's what they need.
That's what they need. They will take them to the next. As for Gyökeres, they will get more goals.
Of course. As
but
for him,
you need to create more chances for him. And that will come from the left-hand side. That's the best bit of business
they've done this summer. Signing Gyökeres.
And the Mosquera guy. Ask the Barca and the Madrid fans. The La Liga fans will tell you. Solid guy.
Mosquera.
I think I saw say no go Madrid.
Briefly on Chelsea.
They'll win the league.
Actually. How much will the whole Club World Cup, shorter preseason...
It is the biggest threat to Chelsea's ambitions.
Yeah, it's not an issue.
I think...
it's the biggest threat to Chelsea's ambitions because this is the longest season they have had.
Yes.
not just the duration and the months they had to work, but the sheer number of games they had to play because of the Conference League. And then because of the Club World Cup itself. It is not normal.
To get to the very end of each of those competitions,
it is not normal that...
You're funny. I will give counter right now.
It is not normal that for any Premier League team, you start pre-season in the first week of August, having had no proper rest. And then you play... Look, what they did last week, they took a big risk. The 2 games they played in 48 hours. They could have easily recorded 2 or 3 hamstrings, and that would have been the season over. Because per convention, you do your physicals first for about a week and a half. Then you start the next phase of your conditioning before you get into full-scale training session. That is how all of these teams operate. And that is what the body is used to. For every member of the squad, irrespective of which country you were playing in, what tactics or whatever the philosophies are, the preseason foundation is the same. You do gym work first. Get into physical conditioning before the ball work will come. So all of those are split into weeks. Chelsea skipped that part because of the Club World Cup. And it looks like by some divine intervention, even when players don't train and they are just thrown into the deep, it's like it works like magic. Mm-hmm. And the João Pedro thing, I've heard a lot of Chelsea fans saying that, yeah, he's a professional. Once he started training, this was a new set of team that he had never played with before. He didn't know. Mm-hmm. But he walked in there and it worked like a treat. So from here on, what Chelsea need to do is they need to be perfect in their schedule and load management. Because you do not want to run the players into the ground. Look, I will not be surprised if we hear that Maresca has made significant changes, maybe from 2 training sessions a day to 1 or something along those lines. But something ostensibly to reflect an appreciation that, look, the preseason that they missed, the fact that the players did not rest, is something they have to take care of and make sure that the players' physical condition is managed to last the entire season. Because in the Premier League, you can have a drop-off of 180 minutes, 2 games, or a game and a half, and that's the Premier League title gone. Otherwise, the squad that they have assembled is a very competitive one. Like, it's a really... for the first time in many years, nobody really cares if the captain is going to be fit or not. And I haven't seen any Chelsea fan complain about Reece James and how they don't know, they are approaching another season and they don't know whether he's going to be fit.
Because they really don't care if he's not playing.
Even for the midfield rejig that we've seen him do, if he's not there, the kid who played in France last season...
Not just Sugu. Santos.
Yes.
Andre.
He was one of the best holding midfielders in the French league last season.
Number 8. He scored quite a number of goals as well.
And you see, we saw a different side of him. Until then, we didn't know him as someone who could crash the box and contribute goals and influence games in the final third of the pitch. So his education, his progress in the past year is something that will also come in handy.
Because they basically have 3 players in the same position.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Caicedo.
Yeah.
The Sugo boy too.
Yes.
And then Andre Santos. And then there's Lavia. And then Enzo. Also, so that the midfield is quite a number.
If there's one thing that I want to see this season, it is Enzo's consistency with the goals.
Last season was his highest in terms of contributions.
Yes. He
was so efficient.
If he can sustain that, right? If he can sustain that, Palmer keeps his numbers, but that's better than that rotten run from December into the new year.
If he even has someone else helping him, contributing.
So for the 2 strikers that they have signed, I'm expecting between 20-25 Premier League goals from the 2 of them. Right. Especially from João Pedro. As for João Pedro, some 15 Premier League goals I expect from him. If Palmer is chipping in another 15, then between Enzo and maybe Enzo and Delap, they can combine to give you 15 or some 20 Premier League goals. Those are title contending numbers.
Gittins, Pedro,
Gittins
Neto.
and products is... So those are players I don't want to rely on right? But all other things being equal, if those guys can even give you 5 Premier League goals apiece, you are looking at numbers that can compete for the Premier League title and deal better with the workload and the responsibility that last season was mostly on Cole Palmer. And so once his numbers suffered, the entire team's performance and the numbers also dropped, because after December, we didn't see Chelsea in the Premier League title race again, right? So for me, my biggest worry is how this Club World Cup and the no preseason they've had is going to affect them. But look, Chelsea you can say Chelsea, it looks like they are back. Not in terms of the football they play, but that attitude that we can beat anybody. That mentality that they are as good as anyone and on their day. And you see, the Chelsea that was winsome in the past didn't have to be the best team in the country to win the league. Didn't have to play the best football but they knew when they moved into that groove, they would win the match. That's why very often it is difficult to point to one Chelsea team that was very entertaining and was synonymous with winning a number of titles, but it was moments that you would remember them for. And I think they have now got a squad that is getting used to winning. This season, whether the Premier League or whatever, they need another trophy just to continue that cycle of winning.
Speaking about people who need trophies or who need to bounce back, Man United.
Faint.
Why, you have said your thoughts on Chelsea, said they will win the league.
Faint.
Let him finish that sentence. Let him finish that sentence.
You people are funny. You in particular. You see, say this guy, he won't make you do underground, don't come and buy pressure from you, don't come and buy.
But when it came to Man United,
this is the longest season. It's a fallacy. Chelsea used an entirely different team in the Conference League up until semi-final. You see, when you are doing this thing, look at the number of games the standard first team play and compare it to the rest of the teams in the Premier League. It was at par. So what is different between Chelsea's team? Pekino can't do anything. Okay, Chelsea were just 5 points behind Arsenal last season. Just 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points per.
That's 2 games.
And you think that Arsenal is good enough to win because they bought Jokeres. But we saw what the Chelsea signings did in the Club World Cup. That one said it was 1 pay. 1 pay. Joao Pedro, 1 pay Club World Cup. They've taken over the whole world.
You also saw what the lab did.
No, but the lab, we saw what the lab did. And we saw that it's an upgrade on Jackson. So right now, their backup striker is even better than what they had before. There's Cole Palmer. There's Pedro Neto, who is getting better season after season. Esteban! Esteban, bola.
What are the Brazilians calling? Estevo.
That way I got it.
Yeah.
Estevo. Proper bola. You can't sit here and tell me Enzo, Caicedo, look at the center. Kuku is the best left back in the world right now.
And Kuku has backup now.
Hato can even play center back. So if you are doing, they want to play some 3 back.
On a level.
This team is
What about right back?
Gusto is there. James will be there.
See, on a level, like given how we criticize,
he will be there. Nobody say he's there. He will be there.
Given how we criticize the Chelsea ownership, I think this particular window they have aced it.
And nobody say this particular. The last
They've
2
been
years.
acing it,
The last 2 years.
People have not been.
You see, those ones were good. But the moment they finished the season and won the Club World Cup and had the sort of progress they have had, getting the signings right, this was perhaps the most important, because if they had failed, it would have set the team back. If they had gone into the same season with the new season with Jackson again, with another set of Madueke and then Pedro Neto and then the midfield without any proper additions, maybe like the thing they used to do, like sending Santos back on loan.
Yeah.
That kind of thing would have upset the balance of the team. Now they have maintained the core and have made the significant additions. In the past, they weren't always doing that. That's how come those guys who came to replace signings that had not worked out in the past. This time, you have the core of the team there, and you can tell what each specific player is going to add to the team.
You know what? Honestly, at the very beginning,
Man City went out of Champions League this way. They had Premier League pair to focus on. Look at the gap between City, Chelsea, Chelsea, Arsenal, You are saying Chelsea. Chelsea will win the league.
Look, I was one of those people that, was not very impressed with the new ownership and the way they started to sign players all over the place.
No, they bombed it's a fact. They bombed it.
That's for that one.
And even last season, you see, what I'm trying to say is that maybe in the end, with hindsight, you might say or conclude that there was a system to the madness and the chaos.
No, there wasn't.
I mean, last season, we had quite a number of back and forth over the number of players that were there. People were making mockery and said they didn't have.
There was, but they've cleaned it up
and all of that. And somehow, that's the point I was coming to. Mm-hmm. That somehow the cleanup wasn't just cleanup that resulted in losses. They weren't just selling off players because they needed to get rid of them. They were selling players for quality money.
Yeah, but that could not have been the plan.
No, but you see, it's also part of it because it's part of it because what are some of the most important elements in the resale value of a player? It's age. Mm-hmm. So Chelsea were signing a lot of young players, and everybody said young players never win anything.
No, you don't get what I'm saying.
It wasn't the age.
Look, the point is
the performance level.
A chunk of those players Chelsea signed,
had
opportunities to crack it in the first team. We knew that they were not Chelsea level players, and they failed, and they admitted that they had made mistakes, and now they've sent them away. So you can credit somebody for starting something, making a mistake, and fixing it, and they have fixed it.
And I think that Chelsea are one of those clubs that, if not the best club when it comes to selling players,
That's for that one, their standard.
And it hasn't always been like that.
It's always been like that.
To be fair,
Abramovich's time, but it's always been
selling
like that.
players.
Chelsea did sell pass.
Who was the most expensive player Chelsea sold at that time?
Chelsea have always been good sellers. Always.
They've always been good sellers. I feel like they've become better sellers as the times have.
Emanalu.
Not at the beginning.
Have you forgotten Chelsea's loan? The amount of money. There was this point, I think it was like 2013 or something.
Yeah,
the amount of money the loan players were bringing.
That is true. So I'm very impressed with the new ownership. And a lot of the players that Chelsea have sold this summer, and even the last summer, quality players that can walk into the starting 11 of several teams. And a lot of the ones that they signed and sent out on loan are players that go, like as you said, improve, come back, and can contribute to the first team. A player like Andre Santos, if he doesn't crack it in the first team, it's a team that will buy him for a lot of money. And it's a quality signing that Chelsea made. But
the one who is annoying me in all this, if not for his attitude, Renato Vega would have been starting in this Chelsea team.
I agree 100%. In that centre back, perfect. Yeah, he would have been perfect. So,
especially under the current circumstances.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Simple. He's starting. And to be frank, it's okay. We'll have that argument another day. That guy,
you're going to say he's better.
He's better.
You see, is it a bit of business that absolutely baffles my mind? It's the striking position. And let me just explain. Chelsea signed Nicolas Jackson 2 seasons ago for just over 20 million or something like that.
He and Gui
35.
Yes. Everybody said he wasn't good enough. This guy he played 2 seasons and the flaws were obvious. So everybody saw. Chelsea, while he was still there, Chelsea went on to sign a striker in the lab. The lab cost less than Nicolas Jackson. Then, while he was there, they went to sign João Pedro. Also for what? João Pedro cost less than 50 million. Mm-hmm. Right? They brought him
50.
It was 50-something million euros. So it's like...
they went to sign him as well and brought him. And he was, this is the point I'm making, an instant improvement on what they had in Nicolas Jackson.
He is. We all knew he was better than Jackson when he was at Brighton.
Even Delap, some people would argue, is better than Nicolas Jackson. In fact, when they signed him, the idea was that he was supposed to be...
It's not some people... The thing is, you people should admit that you were lying when you were telling us that Jackson is Chelsea level.
Hold on.
You were lying.
So the point I'm making is this. And look at how much they signed those players. You can get the right figures for me, for Delap and João Pedro. To come and improve, to come and be an upgrade on a striker that they had. And yet, Taniki, go bust your mind, see. Chelsea will end up selling
more than
Jackson, more than how much they bought the upgrades, which is crazy. Because if João Pedro is better than Nicolas Jackson,
Pedro was 60 million pounds.
60 million pounds. Yeah. The total package.
No, the initial fee 60 million pounds.
60 million pounds.
Okay, it's the total package. 60 million.
Total. Yes. 60 million pounds. Yeah. Chelsea, I guarantee you, Chelsea will sell Nicola Jackson for more than £60 million. Which is crazy to me because, like, what's happening?
No, he's had Premier League experience. That's the thing.
So this João Pedro.
So what? Jackson will end up becoming... Jackson is a poor finisher. He's always been a poor finisher. When he was at Villa, I was telling you,
I don't know how Chelsea does.
When he was at Villa, he was playing on the left. He was only moved to centre forward when Mourinho got injured. And even his time at centre forward, we could not see that this guy no.
His finishing has not improved much.
You say he'll be a striker. We're telling you the guy is not good. You are fighting with us. Now in one transfer window, your club has bought 2 strikers to replace him. What does that tell you? The person you were fighting for, his employers knew that the guy wasn't good enough. True. Now you both there here. You say we'll sell him more now.
But the crazy part is that somehow Chelsea will end up selling him.
The fact of the matter is that we were right. The project had made a mistake. They were just waiting for the right moment.
But I also have a point. But if a project made a mistake, why would anybody contemplate buying him for like 70, 75, 80 million?
You don't understand. You think Chelsea, they are not correct?
No, they weren't buying. No, I did lie to them too.
It's a Premier League club. Chelsea is a Premier League club.
Yes.
Aside in fact, take Man U out of this situation. Look at how much City sell their players for. Look at how much Liverpool sell their players for. It's only Man U who has that issue because of the outrageous wages that they put on their players. But once you have that tag, that Premier, the guy has played. Jackson has given like how many Premier League goals? He will reach like 30 something. 30 something.
11 and 50, I think.
So close to 30. That is decent, like top friends say from mid-table, like top half striker level.
See also,
so obviously you can wrap him up now. Elanga will not be 50 million.
But you see also, it will not be something exclusive.
24 league goals.
24 league.
It will not be something exclusive.
14 2 seasons ago. 10 last season.
We are talking about
something exclusive to Chelsea because
this thing.
Even 5 assists.
Oh, solid.
Look, so even Alexander Isak.
Yes.
You wrap in 50 million selling.
Remember how much Newcastle paid for Alexander Isak? At the time when in his formative years, they paid £60 million for him. So even if he goes for 65 million or the 70 million that Chelsea think they will get for him, it will be within the range of what forwards are going for. Check the forwards who have been signed from the lower clubs. Elanga, Mohamed Kudus. The minimum rates for a forward in the Premier League this summer is 50 million pounds.
Yeah.
That's the minimum everyone is charging.
Yeah.
A shock.
That's the minimum. Look, United, even for Brandon Mbeumo, United were lucky that it was Brentford. If it had been Brighton, an extra 20 or 30 million because Mbeumo had 20 Premier League goals. More than any of these, more than João Pedro, Kudus, and all of these guys were going for 55.
Oh, interesting. All right, anyway, so that's that. Any quick word on Man U? You mentioned Baleba. Baleba has to come. But let's even say Man U get all their targets. So, i.e., Baleba comes saying, I mean, that automatically turns them into title contenders or
with are Chelsea title contenders?
No, Chelsea have had a long season, so the squad some way. So realistically, Chelsea, we are targeting top 4. We are targeting.
Man United were 15th last season.
Man U
bought
with all the Coca-Cola money.
But Cunha was in the team that finished 12th.
How many goals did he not score?
Brentford, where did they finish? Bottom half, 11th to 10th. Man United is aiming for top half football. Top half.
Which top half?
Oh, you don't jump from 15 to title contender. What have you seen some before? 15 to title contender. Are you serious?
Yes,
Leicester were not 15th. They were 13th. That's 2 places.
It's not far off.
What's the difference between 3rd and 1st? It's not 2 places. Master, top half.
United. 15 Premier League goals last season.
For a team that finished where?
He's not even a striker.
And he finished where?
I used to talk. He's not even. He scored more than Jackson. Jackson plays in a team that creates. Let's go on.
If Pochettino had João Pedro, that's it. He will finish fit.
He will not lose those 2 finals.
He will finish it.
Nothing they pay me past those finals. He lost.
Pedro and Delap.
You understand me? Anyway, so that's that. Let's say I don't know about you guys. But let's know what you make of a team's transfer business and who you think is going into the season
Chelsea fans.
stronger.
Your strikers
Or
shine,
which
they
team
blame
still
coach.
needs which players to strengthen in order for them to be stronger. What we are going to do now is preview the weekend's game.
30 seconds.
30
You know, conference league. Jackson ran plus. Your strikers sound like this. You are blaming coach. Jackson ran. Reach the opposition goalkeeper in 10 rounds. Like Anka, pass the ball to him from center.
Yeah,
You were going to pass the ball to the keeper.
There was a
second
no,
game.
but me, the one
That is, he ran. He reached the keeper.
Wait,
and he
wait,
passed
was
the
it the
ball to
one he
keeper.
touched the? No,
He touched the ball with the ball.
it was the final, right?
The final.
That was the day I gave up on Jackson.
That was the day you gave up on him.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Then you
When
had a
he
lot
was
of
missing
It was the
empty
last
pole.
straw. The one that 1v1. He's going. There was another player. He's going.
Magui.
Then he touched the ball. Then he kicked the ball straight to the goalkeeper and was running after
the ball.
The goalkeeper catches the ball. He's running.
He was chasing his first touch.
That shine you blame.
Yes, he was chasing the touch.
The day I gave up on him was Chelsea Tottenham at Tottenham's home. The day he scored a hat trick. No.
Yeah.
Hey, that day 13 goals. Simple. Chelsea could have had a record victory in Premier League. The guy.
I said the Club World Cup game safe. The one that he got lambasted for not passing the ball. His body alignment in taking the shots. It's like, so this is one time that I believe in him. I feel like there are multiple times when he's taking the shot, he doesn't believe that
you can score.
He can score.
It doesn't happen naturally.
Yeah, so it's like he just wants, he just wants to kick the ball and hope that something will come out of. Because Jackson kicks one ball off target, you just know that this ball, no, he's kicking it off target. But he wants to kick it and then complain like, he left small.
But Charlie, you know, say Charlie,
but I mean, like, deep within himself, he knows that this boy, they
But see, on a level, if Chelsea are not careful, we'll finish the transfer window and he will still be on their hands.
But he won't play. And it's not by
Chelsea
Chelsea.
don't care.
Yeah.
You
train by
attacker. Somebody will desperately come for you.
But I'm saying that, you see, the clubs that people thought were all good, they are not stupid though.
No, but Chelsea, they've said it. That if they don't get his valuation this transfer, they don't mind keeping him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that for him, for his own sake, the clubs that everyone assumed would come and pay the money, he will probably, even for Newcastle, he will probably be a last resort.
Oh, yeah, of course.
If they don't get anybody, then maybe they would make a move for him.
Don't go from Ekitike to Sesko to Jackson.
Then to Jackson. Yeah, the Bayern Munich thing.
He carried to Senegal, to Gambia for holidays to pray for him.
Enzo.
No, our pastor defender. Chaloba.
Chaloba
vacation together.
Where Chaloba go pray for him?
Yes.
Chaloba no afa, but he Jackson no.
The prayer no. So wait.
Even the Bayern Munich thing, he will be here when Bayern comes to pick his own teammates.
Nkunku.
No, why do?
If Nkunku and Jackson don't end up going, put them in the under 23 team, they will win that league too. Chelsea, Chelsea. Remember Malouda?
Of course. Oh, Chelsea, they will do it. But Chile was left there.
He still did it.
After season, no, he went to Palace in January.
No. But right now,
I mean, he's back. Yeah.
He and
but I'm trying to say that he stayed the half a season, no play.
He hardly play for Palace.
He and Sterling and the other boys, there are about 5
There's quite a number of them.
Yeah.
Quite a number of them.
But you know they try.
Sterling.
See how you are treating footballers. So people's fathers.
You had Arsenal has Sterling. They could have purchased him. Why didn't they buy?
Why didn't you purchase Sancho?
Oh, we didn't have money.
You paid not to pay. You paid not to buy him, Charlie. You paid not to pay.
You rather pay the 5 million.
Yes, the penalty. Because if you calculate his salary over that time,
Charlie, but we need to talk about this Isak thing.